Yeah. Just stop. Is it recording? All of it. Stop the recording and then start again. Okay, guys. Just before we start this thing, I just want to check with you, like, what is it that made you do these things? Just so that I know, so that I can answer this in this meeting at least. What do you think about when you say understanding strength training? In anybody, like Nixa?
Strength training. I don't know. I suppose lifting more weights with ease without having to rupture something.
Nixa's knee is gone, so that's why he's saying that. Okay. Yeah. Anshu, I was interested as to how come you want to.
Okay, so like right now I am very much inclined towards fitness and I've been working regularly. So I'm doing a lot of strength training, but the thing is I just do. I want to know what is the benefit of each exercise, just like everything in its like proper way. Like I just perform it, but I don't know anything behind it.
Okay, good. Yeah. Matthew, can we start anyway? Okay, guys. The reason we wanted to speak about it is because sometimes people have because we've been in the training for about more than 30 years now. So, and what we realize is people have a lot of misconceptions about the strength training. And but when anybody comes to the center, like, we've been asked this question so many times, what is it, I want to come, I want to do strength training, but whenever we've spoken to the clientele, what we've realized is what they actually mean is to do with aesthetics, aesthetics, which basically means, for men, I'm saying, for men, it is mainly to do with six-pack abs, broad shoulder, something like that. Just a sec, please just join. So broad shoulder, six-pack abs, those kind of things. I'm actually speaking, just looking good with pants on, and being topless with the pants on. As soon as the pants are down, there's a time to go, close the gym. Like that they don't want to exercise anymore if the pants are down. So mainly, for the men, men they don't want to.
So is that not a personal? Is that not a personal experience or what? I mean,
I'm saying if you look at the Instagram guys also, you'll always see like that only. Topless, just showing the six pack, and that's about it. Yeah. And for female is mainly to do with a flat tummy and having a nice leg and butt usually. And they prefer to have thinner upper body. Most of the women. That's what they mean when they say, strength training, which means like basically they mean aesthetics. Aesthetically, they want to look a certain way. To be lean for men is mainly to do with nutrition, to get the body fat down as much as possible. That is what it is for the men and the what I wanted to tell you is that strength training, it is by nature a simple but slightly complex and mainly understandable as long as the person is open to understanding what it is all about. We need to understand that whenever you train, the change is inevitable. Always things will change, and we have to change slightly with it. Yeah, and there is not a single program which works at all times under all conditions. Knowing you guys, like all of you are more into the health, and but you also must understand that in the Instagram world nowadays, most of the people who show off their physique saying that, they're absolutely ripped and lean and also very muscular and strong, you are usually always on drugs, you know.
Steroids
So
all the way, man. Steroids all the way. They're all on steroids.
so the drug use now is absolutely rampant nowadays. It is harmful to your health. It is, of course, illegal and unethical. And it's also actually leads to diminished training methods, because they can do anything they want and they will still look a certain way, and they don't even have to put in the hard yards, you know. So the training methods are anything they do and it works, you know. But they're, because of the anabolic response, which is actually working on the endocrine system, and the organs get affected heavily. Hi, Sunu. So what we're trying to do is trying to make sure, how do you get the same response in a safe and healthy way? Okay. Strength is actually the base of everything. Everything, which means like it is the main foundation, you know. It is like if you're interested in speed, if you're interested in power, if you're interested in agility, anything you do, the strength is the base. Thereafter, you get all those other benefits. If you are not working on your strength, if the building doesn't have a strong foundation, eventually it will fall apart. Eventually you'll have start having injuries, or something or the other issues will happen if you're not looking after the strength or prioritizing strength. So just for example, you know, like when somebody comes to the gym, you know, and they say all those things, and then I have to explain to them, you know, like what they actually mean is aesthetics. And now aesthetics are actually changing, which means changing in the sense that according to the part of the world you're in, somebody prefers this, somebody, the looks are different for different people or the generations also, you know. Now, when a person says that you know, I want to be strong, either if the person is fat, which means overweight, or if a person is very thin, you know, both of them need to do the same thing. Actually, both of them need to do the same plan. To be thin is actually to be ripped, basically speaking, ripped in the sense of low body fat, is actually quite easy, but as long as you are absolutely really focused on your nutrition, you know. So you're hell-bent on your eating very less and looking after those things, then it is easy to be lean, but doesn't mean that you are strong. Okay, a lean person doesn't mean he's a strong person. Okay, so whereas what I'm saying is, if a fat person comes or a thin person comes, for me, it's always easier. The fat person is actually easier, simply because I have to tell him not to have sugary drinks, Coke. Don't have Coke, you know. Whereby a thin person who looks ripped with the abs and everything else, and then to tell him to be strong, which is to put on weight, yeah, and to eat more, is actually much harder. It's much harder to get a thinner person to understand that he has to put on weight. And because whenever you do exercise or strength training, the anabolic response, anabolic means putting on muscle mass, goes to all the tissues, irrespective of the fact that it is muscular tissue or fat tissue. So the fat percentage will go up slightly. Yeah. So when we are talking about strength training, it is for men is mainly to do with to look good with clothes on, which means like if you're wearing a shirt, the shirt looks broad, the shoulders look broad, and everything else is, and you have the feeling that you're strong enough to be able to do certain things. When we say strength training, what it means is what are your numbers? What is your athletic ability? Can we improve your athletic ability, or does the person want to improve his or her athletic ability, not the look? The aesthetics, which is the look, which is what most people concerned about, is actually a side effect of strength training. It is not the main thing, because main thing, aesthetically speaking, getting leaner is nutrition. It's not just weight training. So when you do exercise really hard, that is the time you get the aesthetics as a side effect, not as the not just this thing. It is a side effect. Okay, guys, I just want to check with you. Are you clear about what we have just discussed about the aesthetics or the strength?
Oh,
Are
yeah.
you clear? Or
Yeah.
if you have any other issues like understanding what this means, please ask.
Well, we understand all that, but I have issues in terms of like, for me to get strong is very easy, but
Getting
I'm
hot.
struggling with,
Sorry.
can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear it. Yeah.
So the issue is, for example, I find it easy to be strong, and aesthetically, I know what to do to stay lean or whatever. But the minute I become stronger, I lose a lot of mobility. I lose a lot of flexibility. I play football 3 times a week for 90 minutes. I can play that. I get stronger doing what we do, but then straight after the football game, I'm in pain for like a day, day and a half. My mobility is taking a toss. My back is tight. So I want to
agility.
yeah,
Understand.
so agility takes a hit with the strength training.
So no, that is what I'm trying to make you understand, that the strength training, most people do not do strength training. That is what I want to make you understand, that they actually do not do strength training. The strength training, I'm going to show you right now how it is supposed to be done, and in what manner, and according to age, what is to be done. So the thing is, in the strength training, if you're not getting better at each session, which means like if you train today, and if you're supposed to train after day after tomorrow or 2 days later, if you're not better, that means you're doing something wrong. Now, ideally, better does not mean that you have to kill your body, when you're not able to move very well. So if there is no full range of movement, then there is something wrong over there. Now, understand when we are going to talk about all those graphs and all those things, it is so Sahil, with you probably I'm just saying, you were probably doing a little bit more of the muscle mass training, which is the hypertrophy. Okay, hypertrophy training is different to being stronger. Stronger doesn't necessarily mean the person has to be bigger. Yeah, big person necessarily doesn't mean stronger. Yeah, though a bigger person has a higher chances of being stronger, because even if you put on weight, I'm just telling you, okay, even if let's just say you put on 10 kilos, okay, so even if you put on 10 kilos of weight just sitting at home, okay, you're not doing anything, you're just sitting at home and just putting on weight, and you put on 10 kilos, out of 10 kilos you will put on 3 kilos of muscle mass, 7 kilos will be body fat. So 7 kilos is mainly fat, so you feel fat, okay, but 3 kilos is still muscle mass. So if a person is going to exercise hard, that muscle mass can help him. So it's like this. Let's just say, for example, I'm just saying for Sahil's sake, okay, this is a steel pole, okay, this is a thin steel pole, okay, steel pole, steel is strong, okay, yeah, and this is a steel pole, another steel pole, it's a thicker one, okay, so eventually this is a stronger steel pole, because the girth is more. Okay, if you have more bone mass, more muscle mass, more mass, basically, you will be stronger. All the strongmen in the world, if you look at a strongman, if you see a shot put guy, if you see a hammer throw or a discus guy, they are the real strong people. Yeah, they're all, if they're walking on the road, you'll say, you may think in your mind rather, a fat guy is walking,
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, male or female, but the sporting ability is extremely high.
Yeah.
So when we talk about strength, we don't talk about the look. We are talking purely in terms of what can the person do. Okay, male, if it's a male or a female, just what the person can do. So
can I interject for a second? Can I ask you one thing for a second? Well, because I want to clear my point. So I'm obviously playing football 3 times a week, so I have the speed. I have what I'm struggling with is my hip joint and my lower back joint, because of doing the squats, doing that, they are just locked. They get locked with all the strength training.
Yeah. So no, I'm again telling you, Sahil, what you're doing. No, I will talk to you about the strength training anyway. Most people think that they are doing strength training, but they're actually not doing. That is what I'm trying to make you understand. That you think you are. There are 2-3 aspects. Strength can only, like I said, the number has to be higher the next time you go. If it is next time you train, if it is not, then either recovery and nutrition, 2 things are not happening properly.
Right.
Okay. Now the thing is, when you are putting, whenever you put a stress on an organism, yeah, biologically what it means is when you put stress, either the organism has to adapt to the new stress, like the way we are trying to adapt to this, the COVID or whatever. Yeah. So when we face this coronavirus or whatever, either we adapt to it by forming an immunity to it so that we can overcome the stress, or we die. Simple, right? So yeah, whenever the situation changes, either the organism has to change to be able to adapt to that situation, or it goes, it doesn't survive. So same thing. Now, when we are exercising, which is strength training, if you are putting stress, yeah, on yourself in a certain manner, there are certain adaptations have to take place. If the adaptation is not taking place, and before the adaptation, which is adaptation means in our case, it will be nutrition and recovery. I'm not taking age into a context right now. So unless and until the nutrition and recovery is not proper, it's not possible for you to be stronger.
Right.
Do you get it? Because the next time, if the number is not higher, yeah, that means you've done something wrong. Okay. So what we find that most people are usually obsessed with the looks. Okay. Probably because they're seeing a lot online, or they're looking at the actors and all those things instead of looking at the sportsmen. When sportsmen, when I say strength, means strength sportsman. And so because they're looking at that thing, people are getting obsessed with food. Okay. Now the thing is, nowadays, I don't know if you've heard of orthorexia. It basically means a person is like anorexia, but is the opposite side, where the person is extremely obsessed with healthy food. So they are thinking about food all the time, but eating healthy all the time, instead of just relaxing a little bit on the food aspect, and mentally the food is playing on their mind all the time. Yeah. So okay, I understand. Again, coming back to the strength training, the plan should always, in the priority wise, should always be hips first, hips, then the legs, then the back, then the trap, shoulders and arms last. Now the reason for hips first is because the power of the body, if you see, if it is a football player or any other, hands are just an extension. It always comes from the hips. Like in a car, you can look good, but the engine is not good, it doesn't work very well. Okay, same thing. Unless and until the hips are in alignment and really, really strong, which is to say with that is the pelvis. Yeah. If the pelvis is not really strong, eventually the problems start everywhere. Now, if you see our human body, yeah, I'm just talking to you in terms of joints, okay, right now. See, if you see this wrist joint, this is a lot of mobility is there. Yeah, it is very mobile. Can you see the elbow? It moves only one direction. Yeah. So now the shoulder moves in all direction. Yeah. This is also joint over here, doesn't move, stabilized. Yeah. Yeah. If you see the hips or the pelvis, the knee joint, this side, the pelvis on the hip region, a lot of mobility. Whereas the knee is not. If you check the knee, is only in one direction, right? And again, the ankle moves in all directions. What I'm trying to say is, if you see our body is finely aligned in terms of mobility in one joint, stability on the other, and then mobility, and then the stability, mobility, stability. Is mobility, stability, mobility, stability. Now the problem is, if there's a problem at one joint, one place, okay, let's just say in your case, for Nigzat's case, I'm just saying, okay, if the joint, which is supposed to be the hips, yeah, and has to be very mobile, and it is not mobile enough, then the strain goes to the knee for it to be more mobile. Okay, if the knee is not strong enough, eventually you will have a knee problem. Now the thing is, when you have a knee problem, you'll start looking at the knee. Okay, I have to work on my knee. I'll work on the knee, but the problem is actually the hips. Do you get it? Okay, so I'm not saying that is the only example, but there are many examples like that. So whereby it can, one has to understand where the problem arises rather than looking at where the problem arose. Okay, which joint the problem arose. Okay, so that was getting on a tangent. Okay, anyway, coming back to strength training. Whenever you do strength training, the growth happens, which is normally, like I said, it's an anabolic process which affects all the tissues, fat and muscle. And understand, training is actually a process by which the athletic ability is obtained. Now, an adaptation is obtained to the stress with a simple, it's actually quite simple, stress recovery model. And as long as the program is designed in a logically programmed way. Okay. As are you guys able to hear properly?
Yeah.
Right. So in between, some things are happening, I feel. Okay, guys. To get the positive changes, habitual level of induced adaptation has to take place with the load. Now, you must have seen with yourself, guys. Whenever you guys train, yeah. I'm just going to do a little. I share screen right now. Okay. I'm just going to show you. Show the photos. Where is it going? Okay. Done. Okay. Can you just check? Can you see this thing, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. So I just did it before this meeting. So if you can see clearly, there's a kind of a dependence between the training load and the physical fitness. Okay. Now the line going up is of course the physical fitness and the training load, which is at the bottom. Now, if you see the beginners, now whenever you are training, for example, I'm just saying, okay, and if you're training with the same amount of load, same number, and when I say load, it also means intensity means amount of weight, volume means sets and reps. Okay, so if you are doing the same thing, which means retraining, so you will stay the same way, same place. Okay, if you're doing lesser, that is the, like for example, if you're training after a long time, then you'll be a detraining load, which is a lesser one. Stimulating load is usually the ones which has to be slightly higher. It can be sets, reps, or intensity, which is the weight. Now, if you see the athlete one, which is on the top, we are not at that level anyway. But I'm just showing you the difference is more than 3 to 4. We fall in the beginner category, by the way. The people who, all of us who exercise, beginner to slight intermediate. Okay, the athlete's load is far superior. Okay, so whenever you see whenever you see or hear a model's training or actor training or listen to him training, so you cannot think that, okay, if I train like that model, because he does this thing, or he eats this thing, I will look like that. It doesn't happen like that, because his recovery and how much he's looked after, yeah, by other people and everything else, or living in a conditioned environment, is totally different. So whenever if you see a bodybuilder or anybody else's training method does not apply to you, okay, each one is an individual, and that thing will apply, the training load and everything will apply only with you. Whenever, and also understand, whenever you train, the level of adaptation is high initially. So when you start training, you'll have a lot of gain. Yeah, it means you'll feel fitter, faster. The ability will be much higher. But over a period of time, it will start diminishing. So it will be lesser returns on the same thing. So you are exercising harder, you're putting in the amount of effort, you're probably putting in a little bit more than before, you're probably looking after your food also a little bit more, but you're realizing that, I'm not getting as much returns. Okay, so that is what happens. That is the principle of diminishing returns, whereby the returns will be lesser even though you're putting in as much effort into the same thing. Okay, guys, now I've got a board over here behind me, and I want you to see where you fall when you are training or whenever things are happening. Okay, so in strength training, there are two theories. Okay, two theories which work. One is the single factor, which is the super compensation theory. Okay.
You want to draw it on this?
Yeah. I think I better draw. I know there's I've just gone on the Zoom, so I'm not used to using the Zoom whiteboard right now. Okay, guys, just showing you this, okay? So for example, say let's just say this is your workout day. So whenever you work, can you see it? No, they can't see it. I think it's shining.
Yeah, I mean,
it's little glossy.
This is glossy, right? Let me do the this over here. Wait, it's too glossy. It's shiny. Okay, hold on a sec.
You should have got all this ready before the talk, right?
Yeah, I had got it ready. See, I got this. Hold on a sec, guys. I just want to show you. It's different for everybody. Can you see the whiteboard?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So just want to show you this. Let me know where you fall. Okay. So whenever you exercise, let's just say this is the level. Right after training, your ability actually goes down. So, for example, Sahil playing a football match, or anybody else, even an athlete playing a sport or 800-meter run, right after the run, your ability is not as good because you've expended everything. Okay, so your performance actually goes down. So over a period of time, yeah, it starts rising up slowly. Yeah, it goes up, then again. So if you worked out over here, W is a workout. And let's just say you worked out over here, yeah, and then again it goes down and it rises again, and let's just say you worked out over here. Okay, so if you see this is okay. A proper super compensation. Now let's just say over here another person. Okay, so that person worked out here, and then while going up, and then worked out here. So again, it went down and it's rising up and worked out over here. So 3 sessions. So his performance is actually going worse. Okay, over a period of time, this person will have injury. Okay. Now the third one. Okay, so this person, let me put it over here, worked out. The person worked out, started the workout, first workout over here, and oops. Then super compensation happened, and then going down, but he did the workout over here, yeah, and then going up, and he did the workout over here. Now what I'm trying to make you understand is this person is practically at the same level. Now there are 3 levels. What I'm trying to say is this, the first one, first one had the proper rest and nutrition, so that was the ideal one. This person was working out too much. So every time, so if you play, like just for example, I'm just saying football players or cricket, everybody keeps saying, I cannot play. There needs to be at least 3 to 4 days of gap. Even the managers get angry about having 2 matches in a week, because it leads to the second condition whereby there's a high risk of injury and it's happening too often. Okay. The third one is a person, the second one is a person who trains too often. Okay. Too much of exercise. The third one is a person who doesn't train often enough or trains sporadically. The third one. Do you understand, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you have too much of a gap from training, between training, then the super compensation will not happen and you will not get better, because you were supposed to exercise at the high point of your recovery. Once you recovered, yeah, and let's just say this person should have exercised over here. So if he had recovered, then it would have happened over here, and he's exercising over here. So then it would have been going up. Now the problem arises.
Perfect sense.
Take this off. Okay, I just need to delete this one. I just need to show you one more option. Okay. Sorry. No. Okay. So I don't know where you fall. You can check yourself where you fall. If you've been doing the same amount of load all the time, then also you fall in the third category, guys, because your level is the same. there is another one which the coaches do. This is coaches means athletes, top athletes, who train the way which I said not to. Okay, so the workout over here, workout over here, workout over here, whereby is going down the super, and then because at a high level, these athletes, they find that after this, with a bigger, longer gap of rest, whereby they are just doing mobility and agility, they have a higher super compensation. But this doesn't apply to us. I just wanted for you to know, okay, that this thing happens just before a sporting event for some of the people. Okay, do you understand this? Hello?
Yeah, sort of.
Kind of. Understand or no?
No, I'll tell you why. Why kind of? If his health is slowly deteriorating in terms of his
performance.
conditioning.
We're not talking. We're not.
I mean,
the
not
health
health.
doesn't
Yes,
deteriorate.
just
The performance.
I meant performance.
Performance will deteriorate.
And then the adequate amount of rest gives him that.
It's not that he gets a lot of rest because an athlete is at a higher level. So for a period of time, there is a huge amount of load being put. I mean, the coach decides just before, like maybe 10 days before the event to mimic the thing so that he got his performance. He just wants to check on the performance and then puts it down. Okay, and then lets him rest for a long period of time because he already knows the performance will be at a certain. So that's why I said that is for more for the athlete. Okay. So do you understand? Do you have any idea where you guys fall out of those first three which I did?
Right now, sporadic.
Sporadic one. Okay. Yeah. And rest of you guys, any clue?
Not sure.
Not sure.
Yeah.
Not sure.
I think I fluctuate between the first and the second. I think somewhere.
First and the second. I mean, like too much exercise or.
There are good days and bad days.
Okay, fine.
Okay. First and the third.
Okay, guys, that was the first one theory I just wanted to talk to you about. The other theory, which is the most prevalent one, and takes a little bit more time to understand, but I have to explain to you anyway, is called the two-factor theory. The first one was purely to do with, okay, I exercise hard, I have to rest, but how do you know what is the right time? So when I say, okay, you train on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so why should it be Wednesday? Like it's not necessary, because if you are older, or for example, if you had, if you didn't eat well, or if you had went for a party on Tuesday night, or you didn't sleep well, or maybe you had an argument with your wife or husband, the worst thing. Then then also the adaptation or the recovery can get affected, right? So that may not be the best time to exercise either, to get the better numbers. So now I'm just going to talk to you about the other one, which is which may make more sense to you. Okay, this one. Okay, in the two-factor theory, right? It is a two-factor means it's fitness and fatigue. So whenever you exercise, performance goes down, or at the same time, after exercise, the benefit of adaptation is that your fitness level goes up, but at the same time, your fatigue is also there. Okay, so let's just say just one element. Okay, this is, let's say, workout.
When you even talk about recovery, you can just tell us the ideal way of recovering also, like besides
I will talk to you all of right now. I'm just talking about the base, and then we'll talk about everything. Okay. We have to understand one thing. The thing is, the performance in the two-factor theory, which means it's not stable. Okay, performance means the fitness. So it sometimes varies over time. Okay, so fitness is usually slow changing. Physical fitness is a slow changing process, and many times it does not vary over hours or days, even days. It stays the same many times. Okay, so it's a slow changing process. Whereas there are many other fast changing processes which happen to you. Okay, so whenever you exercise, right after exercise, your fitness level over a period of time will go up, but at the same time you also have fatigue. So your fitness, yeah, will be kind of like this, yeah. And whereas the fatigue, I'm just saying this is a time frame. Okay, this is time. Okay, this is the fatigue will be like this. Whereas when we are saying this is fatigue. Okay, this one. Okay, this is fitness. Yeah, and to be prepared. Well, when I say preparedness means ability to do it again. Now, if you see over here, right after workout, what has happened is the fitness level goes down and over a period of time starts rising again. Whereas the fatigue, if you see over here, there's a ratio is approximately 1:3. So you can recover from fatigue 3 times faster than your fitness level is
replenished.
Yeah, do you understand? Okay. So
okay.
the difference. So for example,
so the fitter you are, the quicker you recover. Is that it?
No. Recovery is always, like I said, nutrition and rest. Okay, but fitness has risen 3 times more. Okay, whatever but the recovery and the fatigue is also there. But the recovery from the fatigue. So for example, let's just say a scale of 1:10. Okay, so your fitness has gone up to 9, for example. Yeah, and your fatigue is at 3. You get it? Okay, so whenever if I am asking you, let's just say we have to train again right now. So we have to train again. I'll just stop the share. So we have to do the training again right now. Okay. So whenever you come to the gym, most of the time you'll be having a slight fatigue from before. Slight fatigue. Okay. So if I ask on a scale of 1:10, as long as it's 3 and below, then you are okay to train. Okay, but if it is at around 6 or 7, your fatigue levels, I'm saying, then it is not good for you to train, because now you will not get the benefit. Because then it is the downward one which you're going. Do you understand? The earlier the graphs I had shown. Yeah. So it's the second one, the downward you'll be going in. So as long as your fatigue is at that level whereby you think, okay, it is at a level of 3. In your perception one, yeah, right after training it is at a higher level, yeah, and whereas over a period of time it goes down. So that is what the most of the coaches now believe in, that the fatigue levels, as long as they are lower, because a sportsman is never fully recovered most of the time anyway, yeah, except on the off season, most of the time is not recovered. So, guys, do you have any questions on this? Because what I'm in the 2-factor one, what I was saying, the negative effects are there, the positive effects are also there, but the negative effect recovery is faster, whereas the positive effect persists longer. Yeah, the time frame persists longer, whereas from the fatigue you recover 3 times faster. Do you have any questions on this or the ones before which we spoke about? Hello. Or is it confusing?
No, we're good.
We're good.
You okay? Okay. Now, I said earlier, we have to always emphasize on the hips, then the legs, then the back, and the traps. If you look at the human body, yeah, most of the muscles are posterior. The big muscles. The butt is a really big muscle. Yeah. The hamstring, the calves, they're all behind us, the posterior region. The lower back and upper back, they're all muscular. Whereas the frontal region are actually the smaller muscle compared to the triceps are bigger than the biceps. Similarly, the back is bigger than the chest. Yeah. So all of those, whereas what we end up doing is most of the time, which is the concentrating on the frontal ones rather than the posterior ones. So whereas what I'm saying is we must emphasize more on the posterior region rather than in the anterior, which is the end of front. Okay. Anshu was asking me about you had asked a question before. Recovery. Now, the thing is, in the recovery, I already said, unless and until, if you're working for strength, even for females, if you're working on for a little bit of the muscle mass, because muscle mass is eventually the one which is going to help you always in terms of ability, instead of just a skinny look. Okay, so to holding on to the muscle mass, it's always best to stick to the healthy food eating habits and on a regular basis, not like what is in style, like the ketogenic and all those things, ketosis and all those things. Okay, so over a period of, because if you're trying to do a dietary kind of restriction, then your performance will always go down and the muscle mass will also go down. If you're doing going on a drastic dieting one, okay, so the performance goes down and the muscle mass goes down. So that doesn't help you in strength. So to maintain strength, you have to keep on eating healthy food regularly, and that is how, as long as the muscle glycogen, which is the sugar in the muscle, is replenished faster, yeah, and with proper recovery, then you'll be able to perform better. Now, if you're asking me, is it 24 hours, 48 hours? I will not be able to give a good answer. You will find out yourself that many times that you'll feel better because on that day you feel as if you've rested better and eaten better or whatever the thing is, and that is why your performance is also better. But if you are like you train today and day after you're supposed to train, but you just are not able to do even the same thing which you did previously, that means your recovery and nutrition were not in order, either one of the two. Okay, was not in order. Okay, guys. Now, have you understood this aspect, whatever we spoke about? Okay, so we're going to talk about the exercise and what happens to the muscle tomorrow. But I also need to clear off one more thing about strength, yeah, so that we can, when we talk tomorrow about the muscle, as to what happens to the muscle and what exercises and how we have to do it, yeah, in a better way. Okay, so I just want to share this thing with you. Okay, guys, I just want to share this graph with you. This thing happened, as you can see, in January of 2005. Okay, this is the graph of the weightlifters. Weightlifters means Olympic weightlifters. Okay, so who do extreme strength moves. Okay, so now if you see the body weight over here of a 56 weight category on the left hand side, guys, if you see the body weight, so it's a three-side graph. Okay, so on the left hand side, going up there, that's the kgs. It's in kgs, 150, 170, 190, that's his kgs. Okay, the relative strength, it says over there. I'll just explain to you here. Hold on a sec. Okay, no, not photos, sorry. Okay, I'm just going to write over here relative strength and absolute strength. Okay, now absolute strength means how much weight can you move, how much weight, what is the number, total number you can move. Relative strength is actually absolute strength, which is the amount of weight you can lift, yeah, or move, or a task you can do, divided by your body weight. Okay, so relative strength is absolute strength divided by your body weight. Okay, so absolute strength. So I just now I want to share this. Okay, now maybe this will make more sense. So if you check over here, 56 kilo guy is lifting up approximately I'm just saying nearly 170 kilos, yeah, but he's lifting nearly 3 times his body weight. They understand. So whereas a person who's let's just say super heavyweight, that's 147 kilo category, yeah, he's lifting only what? Yeah, much higher.
1.7 times.
Yeah, but it is lifting only approximately 1.8 times his weight, but it is much higher in terms of weight. He's lifted nearly 270 kilos, right? He's lifted 270 kilos, but it is only 1.8 times his body weight, whereas the person who's 56 kilo has lifted 3 times his body weight. So a person who's 56 kilo guy, yeah, has done 3 times, whereas he's done only barely done 1.8 times. So coming back to this one, so the relative strength. My camera is off. Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. The relative strength goes down with weight, which means, like, let's just say for example, I'm just giving an example over here. Okay, I'm 70 kilos. Okay, and I'm lifting 70 kilos. I'm lifting 70 kilos of, just say, squat. Okay, I've did 70 kilos of squat. Let's just say Nikhil is 80 kilos. Okay, and he did 75 kilos of squat, so which is less than his body weight. So if he looks at it, so I'm so thin and I'm lifting 70 kilos. Yeah. So in relative strength, I'm higher than him, but in absolute strength, he's more than me. So in absolute strength, doesn't matter what your weight is. Okay. So that is what it is. So the more, but as you get heavier in terms of your own body weight, when you get heavier, your relative strength will go down. Your relative strength to your body weight will go down, but your absolute strength will go up. Have you understood that? Okay. If you're heavier, you will be able to have more, you will be able to be stronger than the other person. Absolutely. But relative wise, lesser. So for a person like me, or lesser weight than me, it's easy to do 20 chin-ups. Okay. But a person who's 85 or 90 kilos is hard to do even 4 or 5. Okay. So relative strength higher, absolute strength low. That's what it means. Okay. Are we clear on these few aspects? Okay. The strength aspects. Is this what you thought it was going to be, or did you think it was going to be something different? Yeah. No, totally different. Nikhil is shaking his head, saying, "What the hell is he talking about?" Did you think of it as it is going to be something else? Because right now we have covered the strength aspect. We have not covered the hypertrophy, which is the muscle mass getting leaner. None of those aspects we've covered, which is supposed to be tomorrow. Yeah, the muscle mass, which we'll talk about tomorrow. Yeah. Today we've just spoken about the way of training, how much you should be resting, which is individual based. Okay. As long as you're eating on time and eating well, you will be okay. Yeah. And not being obsessed about food. That is also important. Okay. Unless and until it's a profession, unless and until if you're a model like Sahil or an actor.
Thank God I was a model. Not anymore. Thank God. I can eat properly now and live a proper life.
So
7% body fat for 10 years, 8 years. Not fun. Not fun.
So 7% body fat he had for 8-10 years, but mine was totally gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get obsessed with food and also with how you're looking and all those things. It happens. Okay. But we are going to talk about the difference between the strength and the getting leaner training. Okay. Strength is purely to do with heavier lifting. Yes, ma'am. Okay. So Madhuri was just saying, like, just to let you know about in the strength training, there are purely 5 exercises, period. Okay. As long as it's not to do with your athletic ability. Okay. Strength training is purely to do with deadlift, squat, power clean, military press, and chest press. These are mainly the ones, and sometimes a barbell curl, which is bicep barbell curl. Apart from that, there is nothing else. Okay. The hardest one in terms of technical ability is the power clean. Apart from that, most of you have done the other exercises. Okay, as long as you can lift really, when we say strength training, again, as long if you cross 5 repetitions, then it's not strength anymore.
Oh, okay.
So if you are sticking to a range of 3 to 5 reps, then you're working on strength. As soon as you, sorry,
absolute strength, what you call?
No, then you're working on more. Then you will be able to lift more over a period of time. Absolute strength is only 1 rep.
So is that what you're aiming at?
You're meaning to say heavier weight and lesser reps?
I know, not lesser reps. Not lesser reps. It's purely to do with 5 being maximum. 5 is the maximum. Lesser, which is 3, is ideal. Okay. So if you see anybody, that lifting 3 kilos. So let me put it like this. Okay. When you're lifting 10 kilos, let's just say I have a 10 kilo bar and I did 10 reps. What I've done is I have 10 multiplied by 10 is 100. Okay. So I have moved 100 kilos, 10 kilos, 10 times. But to move 100 kilo once is not easy. Moving 100 kilo once is the same as 10 times, right? Volume wise, you'll call it the same. But the effect of what is happening to you lifting 100 kilo once and how you would look like and what benefits you will have overall is lot different. So anabolic response of lifting only 100 kilo once, 100 is just a vague number, okay? It is actually much higher also according to person's ability, okay? So doing that once, what is happening to you is much, much more beneficial than doing that 10 times. Do you get it? Okay, so we'll talk about those exercises and how to do it and what is happening to the muscle and to the body when you're doing those things.
Is that when you meant that some people think they're doing strength training, but they're not because they think they're lifting a lot, but by getting stronger aesthetically, but they're not actually getting stronger because they're not doing the 1 rep or the 2 reps, right?
No, see, bodybuilders are usually moderate. They have moderate strength.
Right.
They understand. So you'll see many of the bodybuilders who are who look muscular and all those things. And when it comes to performance, I mean weight performance. Yeah. So they can't get it up at that time. Okay. Because apart from being on drugs, because whenever you're doing bodybuilding, you're doing isolation movement, you're doing restricted range of movement, and sometimes you're on drugs, the benefit will be there. The body will look a certain way. Whereas with strength training, you have to do the full range of movement. Once you're doing the full range of movement and doing in that manner, actually, Sahil, when you do lesser number of reps, lesser number of sets, and leave the place sooner, yeah, the wear and tear is actually lesser. So recovery is faster actually when you do the strength training properly. Recovery will be faster. Okay. Okay, guys, if you have any questions regarding today, whatever we spoke about, we can discuss tomorrow also. Yeah. And in the meantime, Madhuri's, I think you downloaded, you recorded it. It is there online. So if you want to see the graph and all those things, you can go back to it. Yeah. And tomorrow, if you have any specific question, which I may not have covered today, please message. Okay. Please message or let us know. Regarding the muscle mass or whatever you are concerned about. Anshu, you too, yeah? Anshu, Sunu, anybody, okay? Which I may not have covered today, okay? Okay, guys?
All right.
Thank you, guys. Seeing that, it's nice seeing all of you doing well.
All right. Cheers.
See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Sunu. Bye.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, you guys. Be safe. Be good.
Bye.
Yeah, I said you were just a little open, and I said, you want to just keep it.
Bye.
Hi.
Hi, Anshu. You know Sunu, right?
No, I don't even mention.
Yeah. Both of you are from Worli. And Ivan over here is from, he's a lecturer at Sophia College.
Okay.
Yeah. He's saying, yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah, just hold on a sec. Yeah.